The rule was simple. So simple, it almost sounded like a joke. If you hear knocking after midnight, do not open the door. I laughed the first time my landlord told me that. I thought he was trying to scare me. Maybe some old building superstition. But he didn't laugh back. He just stared at me. Serious. Unblinking. I'm not joking, he said. That was the first time something felt off. The apartment was cheap. Too cheap for the location. 3rd floor. Old building. Narrow hallways. The kind of place where the lights flicker even when nothing's wrong. But I needed it. And rules like that? They didn't bother me. Sure, I said. No opening doors after midnight. Got it. He nodded slowly. Then added something that stayed with me longer than it should have. It doesn't matter who you think it is. I didn't ask what that meant. I didn't think I needed to. That was my mistake. The first night was normal. Quiet. Too quiet, maybe. I unpacked. Set up my bed. Tried to ignore the way the building seemed to creak at random times. By 11:30 p.m., I was already lying down. Phone in my hand. Lights off. The silence felt heavy. Like the walls were holding something in. At exactly 12:03 a.m. I heard it. Knock. Soft. 3 times. I sat up immediately. Hello? No answer. I checked my phone. 12:03 a.m. A small chill ran through me. Probably a neighbor, I muttered. Then I remembered the rule. If you hear knocking after midnight, do not open the door. I rolled my eyes. This is stupid. Another knock. This time louder. Knock. 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 Right at my door. I got up slowly. Walked toward it. Each step felt heavier than it should have. Who is it? I asked. Silence. Then. A voice. Soft. Calm. It's me. My hand froze near the handle. Something about that answer didn't feel right. Who? I asked. A pause. Then the voice came again. You know me. My chest tightened. No. I don't. Another pause. Longer this time. Then. A different tone. Slightly impatient. Open the door. The words felt heavier than they should have. Like they weren't just a request. I stepped back. No. Silence. For a moment. I thought that was it. That it would just go away. Then something changed. The air felt colder. And the knocking came again. Louder this time. Knock. 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 The door shook slightly with each hit. Open it, the voice said. Not calm anymore. Demanding. My heart started racing. I said no, I replied, trying to sound steady. Another pause. Then. Something that made my blood run cold. The voice changed. It sounded exactly like me. Why won't you open the door? I froze. That was my voice. My exact voice. Same tone. Same pitch. No, I whispered. The knocking stopped. Complete silence. I backed away slowly. This isn't real. Then. From the other side of the door. I heard something new. Not knocking. Scratching. Slow. Deliberate. Like fingernails dragging across the wood. My breathing became uneven. You're inside, the voice said softly. My voice. I just want to come in. I didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't breathe. Minutes passed. Or maybe seconds. I couldn't tell. Eventually, the sound stopped. The scratching. The voice. Everything. Gone. I stood there for a long time, staring at the door, waiting for something else to happen. Nothing did. When I finally stepped closer, my hands were shaking. I looked at the surface of the door, and my stomach dropped. There were marks. Long, deep scratches. And right in the center, words. Carved into the wood. Fresh. Let me in. I didn't sleep that night. And deep down, I knew something else. That wasn't the last time it would knock. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the door like it might move on its own. Every sound felt louder than it should have. Every creak in the building made my chest tighten. Morning came slowly. Too slowly. When sunlight finally pushed through the curtains, everything felt normal again. The door was still there. Closed. Silent. For a moment, I almost convinced myself it hadn't happened. Until I walked closer. The scratches were still there. Deep. Jagged. Real. And the words, "Let me in," still carved into the wood. My stomach twisted. "This isn't a joke," I whispered. I stepped out into the hallway. The building looked the same as yesterday. Narrow corridor. Flickering light at the far end. Old carpet. Too normal. I walked downstairs and found the landlord near the entrance. He looked up at me. And immediately, his expression changed. "You heard it," he said. Not a question. I swallowed. "Yeah." He nodded slowly. "You didn't open the door, did you?" "No." A long pause. Then he exhaled. "Relieved." "Good." I frowned. That wasn't normal. He gave a small, tired smile. "I told you the rule." "That doesn't explain anything," I said. His eyes shifted slightly. Like he didn't want to continue this conversation. "It's better if you don't ask too many questions," he replied. That answer didn't help. "What happens if someone opens it?" He didn't respond. Just turned away. And walked off. That was worse than any answer he could have given. The rest of the day passed slowly. I stayed inside. Didn't leave the apartment. Didn't want to. I kept thinking about the voice. The way it changed. The way it sounded like me. That's not possible. But it happened. I heard it. And the scratches. They were real. By evening, the anxiety had settled deep in my chest. I checked the door 3 times. Locked. Secure. I even pushed a chair against it. Just in case. "Overreacting," I muttered. But I didn't move a chair. 11:58 p.m. I was already awake. Sitting in silence. Waiting. 11:59. My heartbeat started to pick up. 12 o'clock. Nothing. I exhaled slowly. Maybe it was a one-time thing. Maybe. Knock. I froze. 12:01 a.m. It came earlier this time. Knock. 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 Same pattern. 3 times. But louder. More confident. I didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't even breathe. Silence followed. Then the voice. "You're still there." My chest tightened. It sounded like me again. But clearer this time. More accurate. Go away, I said quietly. A pause. Then. You didn't sound like that yesterday. My blood ran cold. What? You sound different now. The voice shifted slightly. Adjusting. Matching me. Like this. It spoke again. Perfect. Exactly like me. My tone. My breathing. Even the slight tremble in my voice. I stepped back from the door. No. The knocking started again. Faster now. Harder. Knock. 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 Not 3 anymore. Open the door, it said. My voice. Calm. Controlled. I'm not opening it. Silence. Then something new. A sound from outside the apartment. Footsteps. In the hallway. My heart skipped. That's not possible. The voice came again. But not from the door this time. From the hallway. I can wait. My chest tightened. You're not inside, I said quickly. No answer. Then. A knock. Not on my door. Somewhere else. Down the hallway. Another apartment. My stomach dropped. No. A faint voice responded. From that apartment. Muffled. Confused. Who is it? I rushed to my door. Press my ear against it. Don't open it, I whispered. Even though they couldn't hear me. The thing outside answered. It's me. My voice. Exactly my voice. The same words it used on me. You know me. Silence. Then I heard it. The click of a lock. My chest stopped. No. The door down the hallway opened. For a split second. Everything went quiet. Then. A scream. Sharp. Sudden. Cut off too quickly. My hand started shaking. Footsteps again. Slow. Dragging. Coming closer. Back toward my door. I backed away slowly. You should have opened, the voice said softly. Right outside. It would have been easier. The scratching returned. Slow. Deliberate. But this time. It wasn't writing on the door. It was writing something else. Something longer. I didn't check. I couldn't. I just stood there. Frozen. Listening. Eventually. The sound stopped again. But I knew something had changed. It wasn't just knocking anymore. It was learning. And now. It knew I wasn't the only one inside this building. I didn't move for a long time after the scratching stopped. I stood in the middle of my apartment, staring at the door while my heartbeat pounded so hard it hurt. The silence afterward felt worse than the knocking. Because silence meant it was thinking. And the worst part was knowing someone down the hall had opened their door. Someone had answered. And after that scream, there had been nothing. No footsteps running. No yelling. No second scream. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels wrong. The kind that feels occupied. I looked at the clock on my phone. 12:19 a.m. Only 18 minutes had passed. It felt like hours. I wanted to call the police. But what was I supposed to say? Something outside my apartment was copying my voice? Something knocked on doors after midnight? Someone screamed and vanished? Even saying it inside my own head sounded insane. So I did what people in horror stories always do. Something stupid. I walked to the door. Slowly. My hand shook as I reached for the lock. Then I stopped. The landlord's warning came back instantly. It doesn't matter who you think it is. I wasn't opening it. Not fully. Just enough to look. That's what I told myself. Just enough to see the hallway. I leaned down and pressed my eye against the peephole. At first, I saw nothing. Just the narrow hallway outside. Dim yellow light. Old wallpaper. The same ugly carpet. Empty. Then my stomach tightened. My neighbor's door was open. Halfway. Dark inside. No movement. No sound. I kept staring. Waiting for something to move. Anything. But the hallway stayed still. And somehow that made it worse. Because something had been there. I knew it. Then I noticed the scratches. Not on my door. On the wall outside. Long marks running across the wallpaper. Fresh. Deep enough to tear into the plaster. And written beneath them in crooked letters. You didn't help. I stepped back from the door so quickly I nearly fell. My mouth had gone dry. No. I hadn't imagined any of this. It knew I was there. It knew I heard what happened. And somehow, it knew I did nothing. I barely slept. Every tiny sound kept me awake. Every shift in the building made me stare at the door. By morning, sunlight made everything feel smaller. Less impossible. But the words were still there when I checked the peephole again. You didn't help. At 8:07 a.m., I forced myself outside. The hallway smelled faintly metallic. Like old pennies. The neighbor's door was still open. No police. No noise. No sign anyone had noticed anything strange. I stood there for a few seconds, staring into the dark apartment. Then I called out. Hello? Nothing. I stepped closer. Hey? Still nothing. The apartment looked normal at first glance. Small kitchen. TV on the wall. Coffee mug on the counter. Shoes near the couch. Like someone had just stepped away for a second. But the air inside felt wrong. Too cold. And the farther I looked inside, the darker it seemed. As if the light from the hallway refused to enter. I should have walked away. Instead, I stepped inside. Hello? The floor creaked under me. No answer. Then I noticed the bedroom door at the end of the apartment. Closed. And from behind it. Knock. I froze. One soft knock. From inside the apartment. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. Knock. 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 3 times. From the bedroom. At 8 in the morning. My mouth went dry. No. The voice came next. Soft. Familiar. It's me. My blood turned cold. My own voice. Coming from behind the bedroom door. I backed toward the hallway. You know me. I turned and nearly ran out of the apartment. The second I stepped back into the corridor, the bedroom door slammed shut behind me. The sound echoed through the entire building. Then silence. I stood there shaking. And that's when I noticed something impossible. The hallway looked longer. Much longer. My apartment should have been 3 doors down. Instead, the corridor stretched far into the distance. More doors than there should have been. More lights. More shadows. I blinked hard. Tried to steady myself. This is stress, I whispered. You're exhausted. But deep down, I knew better. The building was changing. Or maybe it had always been wrong, and I was only just starting to see it. Then one of the doors far down the hall opened. Slowly. And someone stepped out. Me. Same clothes. Same face. Same terrified expression. It stood there at the far end, staring directly at me. Then smiled. And raised one hand. Not waving. Knocking. 3 times. Against the frame of its own door. My entire body locked in place. No. Then I heard something behind me. A sound from inside my own apartment. My front door was still locked. I knew it was. But from the other side. Inside my room. Something knocked. 3 slow taps. From within. And my own voice whispered through the wood. You should have let me in last night. I didn't go back inside my apartment. I couldn't. Not after hearing knocking from the inside. I stood in the hallway, staring at my own door like it might open by itself. Like something inside was waiting for me. You should have let me in last night. My voice. From inside. No, I whispered. This wasn't about the hallway anymore. It wasn't about the neighbors. It had already gotten in. I backed away slowly. The hallway stretched longer again. More doors than before. More shadows. This place. Then I saw the landlord. Standing at the far end. Watching me. For a second, I thought it was another copy. Another trick. But when he stepped forward, something about him felt real. You went into another apartment, he said. Not a question. My throat felt dry. Yeah. He nodded once. Slow. Tired. You shouldn't have done that. I heard someone, I said quickly. They opened the door last night, something happened. I know what happens, he interrupted. Silence fell between us. My chest tightened. Then tell me what this is. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at my door. Long. Carefully. Then back at me. It doesn't need the door anymore, does it? The words hit hard. I shook my head slowly. It knocked from inside. He closed his eyes for a second. Like he had been hoping I wouldn't say that. Then it's too late to ignore it, he said quietly. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? He stepped closer. Lowered his voice. It starts outside. A pause. Then it learns. Another pause. And when it learns enough. He looked directly at me. It doesn't ask anymore. A cold chill ran through my body. It just comes in. I swallowed hard. So what do I do? For the first time. He hesitated. Then said something that made everything worse. You don't answer anything. I already didn't. He shook his head. Not just the door. A pause. The voice. My chest tightened. You mean when it sounds like me? Yes. And if I hear it again? You will. Silence. Then don't respond, he said. Not even once. I let out a shaky breath. That's it. No. He looked at the hallway behind me. At the endless doors. Because it's going to try something else now. My heart started racing again. What? He didn't answer. Instead, he said something else. Stay inside tonight. I almost laughed. It's already inside. He didn't smile. Then stay in one place. My chest tightened. And whatever you hear. A pause. Don't move. The way he said it made it sound like moving was the real mistake. That night came too fast. I locked the door. Blocked it again with the chair. Sat on the bed. Lights off. Waiting. 11:57 p.m. My breathing was already uneven. 11:59. The room felt colder. 12 o'clock. Nothing. Then. A sound. Not from the door. From the corner of the room. Knock. I froze. My heart slammed against my chest. No. Knock. 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 3 times. From inside my apartment. From the wall. The sound echoed through the room. Slow. Deliberate. Then the voice came. Soft. Calm. I'm already here. My entire body went cold. It wasn't outside anymore. It was in the room with me. I stared into the darkness, trying to see something. Anything. Then the voice spoke again. Turn around. My breath stopped. No. A pause. Then. You already did last time. My chest tightened. I'm not doing it again. Silence. For a moment. I thought it had stopped. Then. I felt it. Right behind me. Breathing. Close. Too close. You're learning, it whispered. My voice. Right next to my ear. But not fast enough. I squeezed my eyes shut. Didn't move. Didn't turn. Minutes passed. Or maybe seconds. Then suddenly. The sound was gone. The presence. The voice. The knocking. Everything. I opened my eyes slowly. The room was empty. Or at least, it looked empty. But something had changed. I could feel it. Because this time, it didn't leave completely. It stayed. Somewhere I couldn't see. Waiting. And deep down, I knew something worse. It wasn't trying to get inside anymore. It was trying to become me. I didn't sleep. I didn't even lie down. I stayed sitting on the edge of the bed, back against the wall, eyes fixed on the door and the corners of the room. Every shadow felt wrong. Every second felt longer than it should have. Because even though everything looked normal again, I knew it hadn't left. It was still here. Just quieter now. Smarter. Morning didn't bring relief this time. It only made things clearer. And what I saw made it worse. At first, it was small. So small I almost ignored it. The chair I had pushed against the door was slightly moved. Not much. Just a few inches. I frowned. I didn't touch that. Then I looked at the door. The scratches from the first night were still there. Let me in. But now, there was something new underneath. Another line. Carved deeper. Fresher. You did. My chest tightened. No. I stepped back slowly. Trying to remember. Trying to replay the night in my head. I never opened the door. I never turned around. I never answered. But something in my mind felt incomplete. Like there was a missing moment. A gap. And that terrified me more than anything else. I rushed to the bathroom sink and splashed water on my face. Cold. Sharp. Real. I looked up at the mirror. And froze. My reflection wasn't moving at the same time as me. It was only a fraction of a second off. But it was enough. I blinked. It blinked a moment later. My breath caught. No. I raised my hand slowly. The reflection copied me. But delayed. Like it was learning. Then. It stopped copying. My hand was still raised. But in the mirror, it lowered its hand first. My heart slammed against my chest. That's not. The reflection smiled. I didn't. Slow. Controlled. Wrong. You're getting better, it said. My voice. From the mirror. I stumbled backward. Nearly slipping. No, no, no. The reflection tilted its head slightly. Studying me. You shouldn't be scared, it said softly. I'm not you, I snapped. It smiled wider. Not yet. The lights flickered violently. For a split second. The mirror went completely dark. And when it came back, the reflection was gone. The mirror showed the bathroom behind me. Empty. I backed out of the room immediately. Breathing fast. Shaking. This is getting worse. Then I heard it. A knock. Not from my door. From the hallway. My entire body tensed. Knock. 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 3 times. But it was different now. Slower. Heavier. Like something bigger was on the other side. Then I heard a voice. Not mine this time. A neighbor. Who is it? My chest tightened. No, don't. The thing answered. It's me. But the voice it used wasn't mine. It was theirs. Perfect. Exactly the same. You know me. Silence. Then. The click of a lock. I ran to my door. Press my ear against it. Don't open it, I whispered. But I was too late. The door down the hall opened. A pause. Then. Nothing. No scream this time. No struggle. Just silence. And that was worse. Footsteps followed. Slow. Measured. Coming down the hallway. Closer. Closer. Until they stopped. Right outside my door. I held my breath. Didn't move. Didn't make a sound. Then. A knock. 3 times. From the outside. And at the exact same moment. Another knock. 3 times. From inside my room. My chest stopped. It was both. Outside. Inside. At the same time. Then the voice came. 2 voices. Perfectly synchronized. We're ready now. My mind went blank. What? The voices continued. You kept us out. A pause. So we came another way. The air in the room felt heavier. Like something was standing behind me again. Closer than before. You don't need the door anymore. I felt breath against the back of my neck. Cold. Slow. You just need to let go. My hand started shaking. I'm not letting anything happen. Silence. Then. A soft laugh. My voice. You already did. The knocking stopped. Both sides. The hallway went quiet again. The room went still. But I knew the truth now. It wasn't trying to get in anymore. It was already here. And something inside me was starting to answer back. I didn't move. Not after that voice. Not after feeling it breathe behind me. Because deep down, I knew something had changed. It wasn't just in the room anymore. It was inside me. The silence that followed felt wrong. Not empty. Occupied. I slowly turned around. Nothing. The room looked exactly the same. Door closed. Chair still there. Walls still intact. But the feeling didn't leave. I wasn't alone. and I wasn't fully me anymore. I stepped back toward the center of the room, trying to think, trying to breathe. This isn't real. But even saying it felt weak now, because something inside my head didn't agree. Then I heard it. A sound that didn't come from outside. Not from the hallway. Not from the walls. From deeper. A memory. Knock. My body froze. It wasn't real. But it felt real. Knock. 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 3 times. My chest tightened. That's not happening. But the sound repeated. Clearer. Closer. Inside my mind. Then a voice followed. Open it. My breath stopped. No. You already know what happens if you don't. The voice wasn't outside anymore. It was mine. From inside my own head. And that terrified me more than anything else. I'm not opening anything, I whispered. Silence. Then. Something shifted. The room around me changed. Slowly at first. The walls stretched. The corners darkened. The door moved further away. And in front of me, something appeared. Another door. Not part of the apartment. Old. Wooden. Dark. Standing in the middle of the room. My chest tightened. No. The door had no handle. No lock. Just a surface. And on it, scratched deep into the wood, a single sentence. The first one answered. The air grew colder. And slowly, the door began to knock. From the other side. Knock. 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 My body refused to move. Don't, I whispered to myself. The voice returned. Soft. Patient. This is where it started. I stared at the door. This is where you started. No. The knocking grew louder. Heavier. More desperate. You remember, the voice said. And suddenly. I did. Not clearly. Not fully. But enough. A memory that didn't feel like mine. A door. A knock. A voice. It's me. And hands. My hands. Reaching for the handle. No. I stumbled back. That's not my memory. It is now. The door in front of me creaked slightly. Not opening. But shifting. Like something behind it was pressing against it. Waiting. You weren't the first, the voice continued. But you won't be the last. My chest tightened. What does that mean? Silence. Then. A new voice. From behind the door. Weak. Tired. Don't open it. I froze. That voice. It sounded human. Real. Please? My heart started racing. Who are you? A pause. Then the answer. I was you. My breath stopped. Before I opened it. The door shook violently. The knocking became frantic. It said the same things, used my voice. I thought I could control it. My hand started shaking. I was wrong. The wood cracked slightly under the pressure. Don't make the same mistake. I stepped back. I'm not opening it. Silence. For a moment. Everything stopped. Then the voice behind the door changed. Twisted. Distorted. Too late. The door went still. Completely silent. And then. I felt something inside me shift. Like a lock turning. Not in the room. In me. My chest tightened. "What did you do?" I whispered. The answer came from everywhere. From the walls. From the air. From inside my own head. "You opened it." The lights went out. The darkness didn't feel empty. It felt full. Not like a room with no light, but like something had filled every inch of it. I couldn't see anything, but I could feel it. Close. Everywhere. Then slowly, the light came back. Dim. Flickering. Unstable. My apartment looked the same. The chair. The door. The walls. But the other door, the one in the middle of the room, was gone. My chest rose and fell slowly. "It's over?" I whispered. Silence. No knocking. No voice. No movement. For the first time since this started, everything felt still. I waited. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. Then I laughed. Weak. Shaky. I didn't open it. I stood up slowly. Walked toward the front door. My hand hovered over the handle. Nothing. No voice telling me to stop. No knocking. Just silence. I unlocked it. Opened it. The hallway outside looked normal. Short again. Only a few doors. Light steady. No scratches. No extra doors. No shadows. My chest loosened for the first time. I made it. I stepped out. The building felt alive again. Normal sounds. Distant footsteps. A door closing somewhere far away. Everything was real. I walked downstairs. The landlord was there, standing near the entrance. He looked up at me and froze. His face went pale instantly. "You opened it." Not a question. My chest tightened. "No," I said quickly. "I didn't. I never did." He stared at me. Long. Carefully. Then shook his head slowly. "Yes, you did." My stomach dropped. "What are you talking about?" He stepped back. Like he didn't want to be too close to me. "It doesn't matter which door," he said quietly. A pause. "You always open one." My breath stopped. "No. I didn't." Then something hit me. The memory. The other door. The one in my room. The knocking. The voice saying I remembered. My chest tightened painfully. I didn't touch it. But even as I said it, something inside me disagreed. A feeling. A shift. Like a moment I couldn't recall, but had already happened. The landlord looked at me with something close to pity. "It doesn't force the door," he said. A pause. "It makes you want to open it." Silence filled the space between us. "And once you do." He didn't finish. He didn't need to. Because I could feel it now. Something inside me. Not moving. Not speaking. Just there. Watching. Learning. "What happens now?" I asked quietly. He didn't answer right away. Then said something that made everything worse. "You go back to your life." I frowned. "That's it." He nodded slowly. "And it goes with you." My chest tightened. "No. You'll hear it again," he continued. "Somewhere else. Another door. Another night." I shook my head. "I won't answer." He gave a weak smile. "That's what they all say." I moved out that same day. Left everything behind. Didn't look back. Didn't tell anyone. For a while. Everything felt normal again. No knocking. No voices. No shadows. Weeks passed. Then one night, I stayed up late. Just like before. Scrolling through my phone. Lights off. Silence. At exactly 12:03 a.m. I heard it. Knock. My body froze instantly. No. Knock. 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 3 times. From my front door. My chest started racing. It followed me. The voice came next. Soft. Calm. It's me. I didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't breathe. You know me. Silence. Then something changed. The voice didn't get louder. Didn't get angry. It just waited. Patient. Like it knew something I didn't. Open the door, it said quietly. My hand started shaking. I'm not opening it, I whispered. A pause. Then. Something I didn't expect. A second knock. From inside my apartment. Behind me. My heart stopped. Slowly. I turned. And saw it. Another door. Standing in the middle of my room. Dark. Old. Just like before. And carved into it. A single sentence. You always do. The knocking came again. Both doors. At the same time. Knock. 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 My chest tightened. The voice spoke again. But this time, it didn't sound like it was outside. Or behind me. It sounded like it was coming from my own mouth. It's me. My breath stopped. My lips moved. Without me trying. You know me. Tears filled my eyes. No, stop. But my body didn't listen. My hand started to lift. Slowly. Reaching for the handle. And in that moment, I finally understood the truth. It doesn't break in. It doesn't force the door. It waits. It learns. And then, it becomes the one who opens it. My fingers touch the handle. Cold. Still. And from the other side, something smiled. Because the rule was never meant to protect the door. It was meant to protect me. And now, there was no one left to follow it.